final groups, and the winner of each of those will play in a knockout final to decide the Bet Victor Championship League winner for 2022. So it's well, it's youth experience here. Aaron Hill, just 20 years of age, from Cork in Ireland, against Mark Williams, the legend, the 3 times world champion. Aaron Hill's just qualified for the European Masters, so he comes into this match, this group, on a bit of a high. He won 1, drew 2. He was undefeated in his initial group, and as I say, Mark Williams won all 3. So this event has suddenly gone up a notch. Delighted to say Joe Perry's here for day 1 of Winners' Week, and already in this group, Joe, you look at the names, they're all tough, but Williams has got to start favourite.
Afternoon, Dave. Yeah, I think that goes without saying, doesn't it? He's a standout performer year on year. He always reaches them high levels, and you know, for me, he's showing no signs whatsoever of aging. I'll say that as he misses a routine pink, but in general, he just no signs of aging. You know, if anything, he's getting better. Some of his performance he put in last season were incredible, and he started off this season well. He's just a great snooker player to watch, great person to have around. His attitude is a joy to behold. His temperament is what keeps him at the very, very top. And yeah, it's going to take something very special, one of these players, to knock him off top spot today.
Well, Aaron Hill, he won his group on the very first day of the event back on June the 28th. So it's been a few weeks waiting to take part in this week as he goes into the Reds. A tough group as well. David Grace, Ben Hancock, Craig Steadman. As I say, he actually was tied with David Grace on points, but he had a better frame difference.
Yeah, I think we might see the best of Aaron Hill over these next couple of seasons. He got on tour and he come with great promise, and he had a couple of notable scalps in his first time on tour. But you know, it takes a while to settle into the main tour. It's a big step up from junior amateur snooker, and getting back on the tour for another 2 years, I think we'll see him relax and get into it a bit more, and expect to see a lot more consistency from Aaron Hill over the next couple of years. He's a great prospect, got a great record in the amateur and the junior scene. So yeah, he's a good lad, and I think we'll see a lot of him.
Well, they've each had an initial chance. Mark Williams back at the table. It's the same format. They're 4-frame matches. 3 points for a win, 1 each for a draw. Prize money has gone up, so the group winner take £4,000, and of course they're into the next stage. And this time, if you finish 4th, you do get prize money. So yeah, the end is in sight. It'll be a very interesting week. Of course, we've got the likes of Ronnie O'Sullivan, Stuart Bingham, Zhao Sing Tong, Sean Murphy, defending champion Dave Gilbert coming up as well. We see who is our winner.
8.
Yeah, so like you say, both had a chance and both missed the ball that I wouldn't normally expect them to, but it's Mark Williams that's got the real clear-cut chance in this first frame. And he was, I was chatting to him for quite a while before match got underway, and he spent a long time on the practice table, so he's taking this very seriously, as you would expect. And he was looking pretty sharp. And
15.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some great snooker today.
Yeah, of course, he'd love to get into the Champion of Champions. He's not qualified at the moment. His good friend Lee Walker, of course, the World Seniors champion.
60.
Looks like he'll be playing in that, and they did have a little arrangement, whereas if Mark didn't get in the tournament, he'd still have to drive Lee to Bolton.
Yeah, it's all right saying it, Dave, but doing it is something else, isn't it? We'll see about that. But
well, I don't know. He you know, remember when he promised to, if he won the World Championship, he'd appear naked at the press conference? He did that. I well remember it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can't
21.
get it sight out of your mind, but he also got paid a hell of a lot of money about an hour before that. A bit different to driving Lee Walker for nothing.
Stay still. You can just stay over there.
I think some movement anyway in his eye line. It's one thing with Mark Williams, as a person, he never changes. He's got that same laconic kind of attitude off table, but on table, he fights as hard as anyone, harder than most actually.
Yeah, he gives off that feeling that he's not bothered, but I can assure you he is. Yeah, there must be someone there, maybe with a camera or something. It's just catching Mark's eye line. You don't have to do a lot to put a snooker player off. Everything needs to be still around you. And he takes the slightest little thing just to catch your eye, just to knock your concentration. So Mark doing the right thing. Wait until everything's proper before playing his shot.
Yes, you can already sense how serious this week is. It's what we've been building up to. Winners' week. They earn their places here, the 32 respective group winners. Trying to get to Friday's final 2 groups and then hopefully to the final itself on Friday evening. Be fascinating to see whether it is, as of last year, a new winner of a tournament, or is it going to be one of these established names?
Yeah, Mark's just put that cue ball in an area where he's got basically a choice of 4 reds. It's just a matter of making up your mind and being 100% convinced it's the right shot and then playing it. So
29.
Doesn't normally take that long over a shot, but again, experience made sure he was 100% clear in his own mind. He was playing the right shot. So many times you see a player just not be fully committed to the shot, and that's when things can go wrong.
34. 35.
He's won 24 ranking titles so far, most recent the British Open last season here in Leicester. That got him into last year's Champion of Champions. Of course, he's looking to pick up a trophy before this year's.
$42. 43.
That was a nice pot, made that look easy. He was a bit further away from that ball than he has been any other in this break, but being such a great potter, one really good pot, recovered position, and should be a straightforward run
48.
to the winning line now in this frame.
$49.
Turned professional, of course, 30 years ago, 1992.
54.
Danced this season 7 in the world. Very nearly got to the world final, just lost that decider to Judd Trump at the Crucible.
55.
Now then, little tester here.
Yeah, these are tough, and he needs another red after it, so can't just... There you go, Mark Williams. I think
62.
all the players on the tour, if I was to pick someone to play a shot like that under pressure, I think he'd be my pick. One of the best we've ever seen at hitting balls dead weight and rolling them in, plain ball.
63.
Red there secures the first frame, so nice start for Mark Williams, looking sharp just as he was on the practice table. And Aaron Hill, I'm sure he knew already he was in for a tough opening match, but like all the top players, they start so quickly, put you under pressure straight away.
68.
Yes, and high breaks, of course, can determine the placing. So maybe this is an
69.
opportunity just to set a little target here. And importantly as well, just keep Hill cold. Had that one chance, it didn't come to much.
$76.
So it ends at 76. It's, as Joe says, a sharp start from Mark Williams. He's off and running, leading Aaron Hill 1-0.
champion of champions.
He looked like he had it won. He looked like he lost it.
You can't say that's the killer blow. Well, you can say it was a hammer blow.
Two devastating breaks. He's on the brink.
101 for O'Sullivan. He's got a frame on the board. He looked mighty good in doing it.
What a way to open your account for the season. I get the feeling it will not be his last trophy this campaign. Same for Fire has made a 117 break in frame 1 against Michael Judge on table 2. That's the 63rd century of this year's Championship League. The standard's been very high, and Fire, of course, made a maximum in qualifying for the European Masters, so we know he's been playing well. He won, of course, the shootout here in Leicester last season. Meanwhile, on table 1, Mark Williams 76 his break against Aaron Hill to win the first frame. I think one of the great moments of last season was the Masters, which is obviously a great tournament anyway. But Williams played Higgins in the quarterfinals, and before the deciding frame, they'd both gone out. They came back in, and got a standing ovation from the audience, just recognition of what the two of them contributed to snooker and what they've achieved over the years.
Yeah, they've both been incredible, haven't they? You know, they get a lot of accolades, the class of 92, Ronnie, John and Mark, and you know, they deserve every single one. What they've been doing since that opening season on tour has been nothing short of incredible. And they're still going. They don't look like slowing down.
Yeah, I'm sure players like Aaron Hill kind of wish they would slow down. But anyway, he's in here. There's the initial red.
3.
Yeah, he's back on tour. He got back onto the Q school. He dropped off after the initial 2 years, but back on and hoping to press on now. He's not looking over his shoulder because, of course, he's got a fresh 2-year card. So he doesn't have to worry about rankings in the first year. Just try and get as many good results as you can.
Yeah, I like the look of him. He might not
4.
be the victor in this match, but there's no hardship losing to Mark Williams. But I see him for the very first time. He was playing my good friend. He was a wild card in the World Championship quite a few years ago. Young lad, drew Gerard Green in round 1, and we'd never heard of him. And you know, I said to Jerry, I said, "Oh, nice draw, Jerry. Another unknown you've got." And when I got there, Aaron Hill was 6-5 up and playing like a seasoned pro. And I watched the rest of that match, and I was very impressed. So it's no surprise to me that he's on tour, mixing it. And like I say, I think we'll see a very different Aaron Hill over the next 2 years. He's got a good game. Looks like he's got a very good temperament. He's not afraid to win. We saw that in his first bout on tour when he beat Ronnie O'Sullivan.
It was basically his first event, that. Incredible victory. Live on television as well. In a decider. Didn't quite continue in that vein, but it's gained good experience.
19.
And he's still only 20, must be remembered.
Created a nice little chance here for himself though. Good opening red, and he's got himself nicely in around the black now.
20.
Still 2 or 3 loose reds, but as you can see now, just having a little look, a lot of value in now, just potting this black and stunning up into that cluster of 3 or 4 reds. Pretty much guaranteed to be on a red into left or right corner. Hopefully bring 1 or 2 more into play. Didn't quite catch him, did he? But I think he's okay. He wanted to be straighter on one of these
27.
2 reds. You can see he didn't quite screw off this pack of 3. Just went through them. So he has got a red, but it's a bit more difficult than it could have been. But if he knocks this in, gets total control of the cue ball, they're all there for him now. This is the first real key shot in this little mini break so far.
28.
Yeah, safely negotiated. Absolutely perfect on the blue. He couldn't have put that better with his hand. So recovered that situation nicely. Now you can see he's clearly got 3, 4 reds in the open. That'll get him very close to the mark he needs in this frame to put himself snooker's required stage.
33. $34.
Yeah, I suppose it's a slightly different feeling for him this week because, of course, he's earned his place here. He's qualified, winning a group. It's not like he's coming in cold facing Mark Williams in his first match of the tournament. He's here as of right. Must be feeling good and confident. He qualified just for the European Masters at the weekend as well. Oh, but saying all that, can't be missing those.
Aaron Hill, 34.
Yeah, that can only be a slight lapse in concentration. Didn't see anything wrong with the way he struck the cue ball. It looked, at first glance, like he'd got away with that. Never left nothing easy, but Mark, needing such a thin contact on the red, pretty much in the hope of the gods where the cue was going to finish, and it hasn't been kind. So Aaron Hill not going to be punished for that miss black.
Mark Williams 1.
Not straight away anyway. There might be more to come from Mark Williams if Aaron doesn't successfully get out of this snooker and leave it safe. Yeah, the pack of reds to the right of the pink is where he'd love to put the cue ball. It's whether he can get enough side on the white, because he can't hit all of that cushion. He's got to swerve around the brown, as you can see, raising the butt of the cue. Got to judge the side here and the pace. This looks pretty good. Absolutely perfect. So he's done well there. And like I say, won't do his confidence any good missing a routine black off the spot, but he'll be relieved that it hasn't cost him anything.
Table 2, Hussein Vafai made a century in the first frame. This won't be one here, but he's won it comfortably in frame 2, so already guaranteed a point against Michael Judge. Michael Judge, of course, won the group Karen Wilson was the favourite in. In fact, he was the only player to win a match in that group. There were 5 draws. Not quite enough on for a century. I think it'll be 89 there. He clears up. Meanwhile, thunderous red from Aaron Hill, so he's got another chance. And that's the strange thing about snooker. We saw him miss that black, which looked unmissable, because maybe he wasn't completely focused on it, but he was certainly focused on the red. It's just knocked in.
Yeah, it was a great pot, wasn't it? Put all his efforts into it, pretty much forced into it by where the cube had finished after Mark Williams' previous shot. He struck it nicely, played it confidently for a colour, so it's absolutely imperative now that Aaron Hill wins the frame at this visit for his own confidence more than anything. He's just landed in between there. Fraction more would have been lovely on the blue, a bit less nicely on the black, so again going to need a little bit of a recovery shot here. The pot shouldn't be a problem, but when your cue ball's running around, always guaranteed perfect position. Yeah, so
Aaron Hill 6.
Slight lapse in concentration on the previous positional shot. It's forced him to miss that tricky black. And so he's had 2 fantastic chances in this frame, and he's only 39 ahead. How many times have we seen Mark Williams punish players for such mistakes?
That's the fear now. As we see that blackie miss, Mark Williams straight out of his chair, looking counter-attack here, really punish.
Seven.
Yeah, and these are the frames that hurt. The previous frame, you can accept that. Playing one of the world's best, they get in, they make a 70 frame winning break. You can accept that, but when you've had 2 golden chances and you've missed in the balls twice, they're the frames that really hurt, and they dent your confidence, and they just put a little bit of doubt into your mind the next time a chance comes along. So assuming Mark Williams gets these 3 reds in the open table, Aaron Hill will be pinning his hopes on the red on the right side cushion. It's on the wrong side of the table for a left-hander. I'm pretty sure that's what Aaron Hill will be sitting in his chair thinking and hoping.
$21. 22. 28. 29.
So Mark's come a fraction short there, so can't get right in tight, close behind this red. That's about as good as he could have done, so gonna need the rest. Someone so tall, he's always been a
35.
very decent rest player, but this is tough, especially when you've got to put a lot of force into it. Screw the cue ball back. No problem at all.
36.
I think Aaron Hill will be feeling the worst right now.
Yes, 2 missed blacks. The first one really came out of nowhere. The second one wasn't ideal on Mark Williams. And all the great players do this so often, just step in
41.
and make the killer clearances.
43.
Be very costly for Hill because, of course, now the best he can do is a draw.
46.
Bluey's frame ball for a 2-0 lead. It looked like Hill had got away
55.
with the first miss black, but not with the second. Been thoroughly punished.
61.
Yeah, vintage stuff from Mark Williams. 61 to the pink. He takes a stranglehold on this match. He leads 2-0. Well, that was, as I say, vintage Mark Williams, that clearance. He stepped in when he sensed blood, made that good 61 to the pink. He leads 2-0. Aaron Hill, 2 missed blacks, told the story in that frame, just wasn't clinical and paid the price.
Third frame.
So now the best he can do is force a draw, but Mark Williams needs one more frame to win his 4th match from the 4 he's played in this year's Championship League. And I always think if the top seed wins their first match in the group, then everyone else is automatically playing catch-up. They start as the favourite, the top seed, of course. Favourites don't always win. Stephen Maguire and Lou Ning are the other 2 players in this group, 2 tough players, but Williams, if he can get the 3 points, then the pressure's on them. And now the long reds are flying in as well.
Yeah, I've been around snooker a long time, as you have, Dave, and that long red Mark Williams has potted has become almost like a gimme for the top pros now. You know, you're surprised when they miss it. It's not an easy shot. It's just become routine for a lot of the players now. You break off and you leave that red, you just automatically assume your opponent's going to knock it in. Mark Williams is now in full touch.
4.
Yeah, go back to that last frame. You just had a sense of inevitability about it, didn't it? When Aaron Hill missed that black, you just sort of knew, even though the balls weren't sitting ducks, you just sort of knew Mark Williams wasn't going to mess up from there. We've seen him do it so many times, and again, we do go on about them, but they deserve everything they get, and that's what just separates them from the other great players in snooker. The ability to be able to do that time and time again, sense the opportunity, and make the most of it.
Meanwhile, looks like Vafai is over the line against Michael Judge. That hasn't taken long, has it? About half an hour.
11.
3-0, so a flying start for him as well.
Well, the table could look very different in a couple of seconds if Mark plays this one correctly. Couldn't have played it much better, could he? You get what you deserve when you hit the pack properly. You can't hit him any better than that. Controlled the cue ball, hit the pink
16.
top of the pack, pretty full. Plenty of backspin on the white ball, kept it in the middle of the table. And now
17.
again, frame winning position. The way he's played so far in this match, should be very surprised if he does slip up, doesn't make the most of this chance. Black's available into both corners. Reds are nicely
24.
spread. Mark Williams will be expecting to win frame and match in this position, and I'm pretty sure Aaron Hill will be expecting exactly the same.
25.
Yeah. These great players, as I say, they sense blood. Time to make your move came in that last frame, and now Mark Williams looking imperious. He's had spells
32.
over the years, as you would do in a long career, where his form's come and gone. He dropped out the top 16 a couple of times, but of course that return to the top of the world, winning the World Championship in 2018, that was a real career highlight. He had all his children there, his wife Joanne, all there to enjoy it. Just a great moment, possibly the best world final ever in terms of standard with him and Higgins. But made more special because the two of them are in it. And all the history between them, and well, it's snooker history full stop. And Mark Williams
41.
determined, I'm sure, to create more, eyeing a ranking title number 25 this week.
$48.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will be surprised to see him as the last man standing Friday evening.
49.
And if he keeps this form up, it's going to take someone very special to stop him.
Well, Hassan Bafai, he's made another century, so he's had a couple of centuries and an 89 to beat Michael Judge 3-0, so maybe he could be the man to do it. Yeah, just get the sense the players are beginning to raise their game for this last week. The trophy now in sight.
$56. 57.
Oh. Blue takes the break to 62, and with that 62-point lead, so just a straightforward red and blue will be enough.
62.
But I'm pretty sure Mark Williams, he's never been one for centuries in his career. It's not something that's really
63.
spurred him on, but he seems to have made quite a lot the last few seasons. Seems to have a bit more care and interest in it, so hopefully he'll go on and make a total clearance in this frame. No reason why he shouldn't.
No, and as we know, the high breaks can potentially make a difference. It's the last
68.
way the players are split if they're level on everything else.
69.
It's 17 seconds a shot for this match, but he hasn't been rushing, has he? Just gets on with it, but he sort of ambles around the table in the meantime, as if it's all just easy, which, as we all know, it's not.
76. $77.
No, I can vouch for the fact it's not easy, but it does look incredibly easy when you see Mark Williams in this
84.
form.
$85.
And the reason he plays at 17 seconds a shot, like Dave says, is not because he's rushing around, it's because his cue ball is always in perfect position. There's hardly any thinking time required. He knows where the white's going to finish.
92.
He just gets down and plays the next shot.
Well, it could have been a different story, of course, but Hill
93.
Missed a couple of blacks in frame 2. Mark Williams needs this black for a century. Terrific display from the Welshman. Top seed here in this group.
100.
To enter the second phase of the Championship League. And with Hossein Vafai playing so well as well on table 2, it's clear whoever wins this title this week is going to have to seriously produce the goods. Aaron Hill then has got to just put what happened to one side and focus on the next 2 matches. Be on third actually against Steve Maguire.
108. 111. 115. 120.
Mark Williams, 47 years of age, but certainly not over the hill.
126.
So he's got past this hill pretty comfortably in the end. That second frame was massive. Great clearance from Williams, and then he stepped in long red and a total clearance of 133. Sheer class from the Welshman. He beats Aaron Hill 3-0 to get the first 3 points from this group. There'll be a short break and we'll be back with Stephen Maguire.